Alright, this is a quick walkthrough of what a production workflow might look like in Windows Movie Maker. We're going to start with putting some files here. Let's see, tutorial. Alright, I've got files arranged where each shot has its own folder for the still frames, and then we'll have a folder for the rendered frames. Your basic strategy is going to be to edit together the still frames, make a movie clip, which will go in your clips folder, and then you'll take the clips and edit those together for your final film. So you're not trying to edit still frames together for your final film. That's really confusing and hard to do. So we'll start with some frames here. Alright, select all, Control A, open. Now by default, the clips come in at 7 seconds long each, and that's not going to work. It's not in a standard frames per second format, but we can approximate that with decimals. So we'll do 0.1 would be 10 frames per second, and that's a pretty good place to start animating for a beginning animator there. That'll work nicely. So we'll do that, and then you can see that the animation goes together just like that. All right. We'll go back to home. So what we're going to do here is make a movie clip. And when you have all these frames here, it's a good time to check and make sure you don't have any fingers in the set, shadows on it. If the guy fell over for a frame, you can delete those frames out and make it a smooth animation. So what we're going to do is save this as its own clip. We'll go over here to Save Movie, hit the bottom part, get this dialog here, and we'll create a custom setting. Alright, now what we want is a widescreen aspect ratio. Alright, and actually you can see that here in the project. You want the widescreen. If you're doing HD, you'll want the widescreen selected here, and that will be constant throughout the whole production. Alright, so we'll go back here. Create a custom setting, and 1280 by 720, that's great. I'm actually going to bump up the 8000 to 24,000 because we're going to re-render this clip. We're going to want as much information there as we can get. We'll call this 720 HQ. Click Save, and we'll replace that because I've already done this. Alright. Then we'll render this out using our new custom setting in the clips folder. We'll call this clip number 1. And that will save it out there. Alright. Close that. Then what you're going to do is, when you want to edit your clips together, you make a new project. Save that. New project, and then you'll import your clips, and you'll have lots of these. You bring them in together, and you can edit them here. But then you'll want to do sound, and Movie Maker just doesn't do sound very well. So what we're going to do is actually use a different program to score the film and do the sound, and then import that back into Movie Maker to do the final render. So we'll bring up Sony Acid Express, and before we do that, we're going to render out your. So once you get this film all edited together, just like you want it, you're going to want to render that out, and we'll use the same setting here. And I'll just put it in here, and we'll call this the edit, and then we'll render out. Alright. And then we'll open up Acid, and we'll click Open, and we'll bring in Edit. Alright. Now what we're going to want to do here is make sure we can see the video preview. So we'll just go to View, Video Preview, and we can see this here. And then we're going to want to also see the Explorer, so we can get all our files over here. So I've got a separate folder here for sounds. Double click that, and then you just drag and drop the sounds into your project, and then you can trim it from there. And you can actually do quite a bit in this program, so you get to play around a bit and learn how it works. But you can drag them around, and then you'll want sound effects. So I've got a few here. Put one there, and you can create new. See, I'm creating new tracks for each one here. But you can also put 2 on the same track or more, and that'll help keep this organized if you can use the same track for different sound effects. And you can adjust the volume for the entire track like that, or you can adjust it individually. So what we're going to do here is then we'll play this through, and you can see
this was a triumph. I make.
All right, not the greatest movie in the world, but you can see the video, and then you can time the sound effects, time the music to fit the video. And then what you're going to do, once you get that how you like it, you go up here to File, Render As, and you want the Windows Media Audio version 9, and we'll call this Mixdown. All right, close that, minimize this. Then in your Edit project, you've got all your clips together. You'll add music, and you'll grab your Mixdown thing, and this is already going to be synced with your video, just like it was when you put the audio together. And then you'll save this as another clip, and this way you'll have video together with the audio. And we'll do this as final. There we go.
This was a triumph.
All right, so that gives you a basic idea of what your workflow could look like, and I hope that's useful.